Hey guys, so a couple of people have asked at the clubhouse and a couple of other different streams I've been on about flooding the rink. What do I do? And so to initially fill the rink, I get a tanker truck full of water, and then to flood it, I use these totes. That's about 250 gallons, 1,000 liters of water. I come to another location to fill it because I'm on a well, and I fill it up. It takes about 35 minutes to fill it. And then I use gravity when I get home with a pool hose. So I have a ABS pipe that is fitted to a pool hose. I unravel this and let gravity take its course. It takes about, I don't know, 15 minutes to empty it. And one thing I have to do is use wood to transition off of the truck from right here on the edge, so I don't get a kink in the hose. And that's pretty much that. So we'll show you at the house how it works. All right. Okay, we're back at the house now for load number 2, day number 2, and it's looking pretty good. So we had some wind, so there's snow that blew on here. This is the area right here that the water didn't hit, but everywhere else it did, and it's whoa, nice and slippery. So what we have to do is we need to sweep up all the snow, because if we put the water on there with the snow, it turns into slush. So first steps first, sweeping and then flooding. Let's get to it. Okay, so we're almost done. You can see it's pretty clean. I'm just doing along the wall here. You see this is only from about a third of, or about a sixth of the rink. And that's what I got. And one thing I want to show you before we put more water, you see these 2 holes here? They're not holes, they're frozen solid. But when I empty out the water, it wears right through the ice. Now the ice in this corner is about 10-11 inches. It goes right through. I checked last night and it was solid right through as far as I could put my hand. So you see it also, right now it's not level here. So even if you use a hose, it's going to do the same thing. It'll wear through. Here's another spot. One of the things you can do is just move it often. And don't let it wear through too much, but it's going to freeze up. It'll be good. So the next step before we flood it is if there's any big humps, like big spots that are look kind of like blisters or something like that, I use this floor scraper and I beat it up. I'll show you a good example. And you can see the surface isn't perfect. That'll be taken care of, but it doesn't happen right away. Right here, you see this. I can scrape this off with this floor scraper. There's a couple spots along the wall. There's some here, little rough spots. So the floor scraper, you can just kind of break it. Right here, there's one here, and there's one there. So that's how I do it. And hopefully tonight, this flooding will go across really quick and smooth and make it just perfect. The only other thing after this is then we can skate on it after tonight. It won't be the smoothest. It takes time to get it super smooth. Biggest thing is get the snow off of it and before you flood it. And then the other thing is to make sure that you're patient, because it takes time. So, all right, it's 1:20 in the morning. I'm just about to unload the water. 1:20 is because it's just getting back below freezing. It has been mild all day, and I don't want to flood the water onto the rink and leave it there warm for a long period of time. I want it to freeze as fast as possible, because otherwise it'll start to make slush. And so it's just getting to -1 now, and it's supposed to go down to -7 very shortly. So time to unroll the hose and let gravity do its magic. Okay, it's about 30 minutes since we got the truck stuck. The hose was too short, then I couldn't move it back. Then my lovely wife came out right there. She pulled the truck out, 20-foot box truck out, with our minivan. Then she went and got a our pool hose, which is like, how long is that, like 75 feet?
Yeah.
75 feet in the shed. And so now it's flooding. So we have tote, elevated, draining by gravity is going and flooding the rink. You can see it coming over here. And it's coming out at a pretty good pressure. And so we want to flood across the ice. You can see that the ice is, maybe you can see it's a little bit rough, and it shouldn't be. It should dry nice and smooth like the water there. Or not dry, freeze. Sorry, it's 2 o'clock in the morning now. And so this is, the texture is from the snow while it was drying. Freezing. Man, that's horrible. Embarrassing. Does water dry? Yes, it does. See, it could do that. Although ice does evaporate, but okay. Anyways, instead of trying to make excuses for myself. So then after this freezes, was hopefully tonight it's going to happen. You're going to see that around the edges there are some right over there. See, it looks like a clump there. Well, that is stuff that's hardened, like snow that's gotten wet, kind of become slushy and then hardened. So after this layer, then we go around with like an ice pick and we chip those all off. And then we do with 5-gallon buckets with hot water when it's really cold, and I flush across the surface, and it makes it gorgeous. And then after that, it's just maintenance. So hopefully we don't have too many more mild days. But right now we're about a quarter of the way through the tote, and we see it has gone, it's going to that corner now, and we're about 3/4 of the way up here. It's going to spread really, really quickly now. I think I calculated, but 1,000 liters does roughly around, just shy of a 1/4 inch, right? Across the surface. So we should get roughly 3/16 of an inch to a 1/4 inch across the surface. The only thing is if there's any air pockets underneath, it will seep down below instead of on the surface. But we filled this up in one shot, 37,000 liters, so I don't think there'd be too many air pockets. But anyways, so that's how we're doing our final, not fully final, but that's our final coat on the ice to make it usable. So anyways, see you later. Okay, so we are tote number 2. This is the next day. Tote number 2. The water last night, it went across most of it. Maybe about 30% of the surface didn't get a coating, which means that it just raised the outside perimeter up enough. So hopefully this tote here will go straight across the whole rink and we'll be good to go. So maybe another 18 minutes or so of filling up. So anyways, see you at the rink. You can see the hose is, the valve's open over there, so the hose is pressurized right now. Even with this distance, doesn't seem like a big difference in elevation, but it's about, what would you say, Josh, 4 feet?
Yeah, that's okay. Like from the drop down from the truck to here?
Yeah. Yeah, it's got good, it takes about, 10, 15 minutes, oh, well, 15 minutes to empty out the tote. Pain in the butt, eh? It's not like the other hose we had.
No. Because the other ones were shorter, too. So,
yeah. Okay, we want it over in the thicker corner, so if it wears through, it doesn't wear through right to the bottom.
this is just
yeah. There you go.
You're like a fireman. Yeah, that doesn't work.
No, you're too high now. See, that's, if you leave it like that for too long, it'll wear through the, right through the ice. And that's where you get that and that. Make sure you get right up to the wall. If you do leave it in one spot, it will flush right across. It'll go right across the ice. That's what happened last night. We went right all the way around. You can see right here, there's a bit of a difference in texture. That was a high spot. So tonight we should go right across the whole rink. So. All right, there we go. Flooded again. It's almost time to start skating.